Welcome to Stock Talk. Today, we're jumping right into Upwork's Q1 2025 numbers.
Yeah, their latest earnings analysis just dropped.
Exactly, and our mission really is to pull out the key takeaways for you. What's Upwork's financial health looking like? What's the potential?
And importantly, do it without getting lost in all the financial jargon.
Right, we'll hit revenue, profitability, user trends, and definitely the AI impact. It's straight from their official Q1 report.
Okay, let's get into it. So what really jumps out first is this interesting split.
A split, how so?
Well, the revenue growth is pretty modest, but profitability, that's gone way up.
Okay, give us the headline numbers.
So revenue hit $192.7 million. That's just a 1% increase compared to last year, year over year.
Only 1%.
But, and this is the kicker, net income more than doubled. It's at $37.7 million, which is a 105% jump year over year.
Wow, doubled. 105% increase. That's huge.
It really is. Mr. Buzz, is this just about cutting costs? Or is there maybe a strategic shift happening towards, higher margin stuff?
That doubling net income is definitely the big headline. And it wasn't just net income, was it?
No, you're right. Adjusted EBITDA also surged, up 68% to $56.0 million.
And that margin.
A record 29% margin really points towards much better operational efficiency.
Yeah, definitely. And we also saw diluted EPS climb to $0.27 from $0.13 last year.
And free cash flow doubled too, more than doubled actually, to $30.8 million.
So it's like the top line, the revenue is just sort of inching along, but the bottom line, profitability, is really sprinting ahead.
Exactly. And connecting that to the bigger picture, it really could signal, a very deliberate move towards sustainable profit.
Makes sense if we look at where the money's coming from, the revenue breakdown.
Right. Marketplace revenue, that's mostly individual freelancers, smaller businesses. That was also up just 1%, hitting $166.3 million.
Okay. Similar to the overall growth.
Yeah. And then enterprise revenue, which is focused on the bigger clients, the organizations, that actually dipped slightly, down 1% to $26.4 million.
Okay. So let's dig into what's actually fueling this big profitability surge. You mentioned cost cutting.
Yeah, and that's where it gets really interesting under the hood. Operating expenses saw a really significant drop.
How significant?
Down 16%. They fell to $112.2 million. That's quite a substantial trim.
16% is definitely substantial. Where did they cut?
It was pretty much across the board. R&D was down 13%. Sales and marketing saw the biggest cut, down 25%.
25% in sales and marketing. Wow.
Yeah. And general and administrative, that was down 12%. So this kind of widespread cost discipline, that's clearly a huge driver behind that jump in net income and EBITDA.
Absolutely. But it wasn't just tightening the belt, was it? Did gross profit grow?
It did, yeah. Gross profit was up 3% to $150.9 million. And the gross margin improved, too, to a pretty healthy 78%.
78% margin. That's strong.
And even the cost of revenue itself went down by 5%. So that suggests they're just getting more efficient at delivering their basic services.
Okay, so cost cuts and efficiency gains driving profit. But this raises a big question, right?
Yeah.
How are these financial moves affecting the actual platform activity, users, work volume?
That's the crucial next step. And here, the picture is a bit more mixed. Gross services volume, or GSV, that's the total value of all the work done on Upwork.
Right.
That actually went down slightly, decreased by 2.1% to $987.7 million, though they do point out it was a tough comparison to last year.
Okay, a slight dip in GSV. What about the number of clients using the platform?
That's maybe even more striking. Active clients decreased by 7%.
7%. That feels like a notable drop.
It is. The total is down to 812,000 active clients.
Could that be maybe deliberate? Like, are they focusing less on quantity and more on quality of clients, shedding lower spenders?
That's a really good question. And interestingly, the GSV per active client went up.
Oh, okay. By how much?
It increased by 3% to $4,912 per client on average. And what's really fascinating is this is the first time that metric has grown in 6 quarters.
6 quarters. So after a year and a half of decline, spending per client is rising again.
Exactly. So fewer clients overall, yes, but the ones they have seem to be spending more. It really does suggest a strategic focus shifting towards, higher value work, bigger projects.
Fewer but bigger spending clients. Okay. Now let's pivot. AI is everywhere. How is that playing out for Upwork? It's a key area for them, right?
Absolutely. Huge focus. And the report shows significant movement there. Their AI assistant, Uma, adoption is way up.
How much?
52% more users engaged with it just quarter over quarter compared to Q4 last year.
52% jump in just one quarter. That's fast.
And the impact of these AI features seems pretty substantial, too. Engagement with their AI proposal writer, up 58%.
Okay.
And get this, homepage engagement driven by Uma, up 340%.
Whoa, 340%. That's incredible. Shows that those AI tools are really sticky. People are using them.
Definitely sticky. And it seems the demand for actual AI skills on the platform is booming, too.
Makes sense. What are the numbers there?
GSV from AI-related work grew 25% year over year.
Solid growth.
And if you drill down into specific skills, like prompt engineering, that's just surging. GSV there is up 52%, both year over year and quarter over quarter.
Wow, 52% quarter over quarter, too. That signals a really hot market segment right now.
Absolutely booming. And it seems it's pretty lucrative for the freelancers involved.
Yes, how so?
The report mentions they're earning, on average, over 40% higher hourly rates compared to freelancers in non-AI fields.
40% premium. That's significant. Shows how much clients value that AI expertise right now.
It really does highlight the value clients are placing there. Okay, shifting gears slightly, what about how Upwork makes money beyond just the main transaction fees, their monetization efforts?
Good question. Looks like those strategies are working pretty well, too.
Yeah. What kind of growth are they seeing?
Well, strong growth in a few key areas.
Right.
Revenue from ads and other monetization, up 23%.
Okay.
Freelancer Plus subscriptions, that's up 20%. And Connect's revenue that credits freelancers buy to bid that increased by 25%.
Right, so good growth across those streams. And what about their offering for bigger clients, Business Plus?
Ah, yes, Business Plus. That seems to be getting real traction. Active clients more than doubled quarter over quarter.
Doubled again.
Yeah. And what's really interesting there is that 37% of those Business Plus clients are actually new to Upwork entirely.
Oh, that is interesting. So it's not just converting existing users, it's attracting new, potentially higher spending businesses right from the start.
Exactly. So even with that overall drop in active clients we talked about, they seem to be effectively growing revenue through these other streams and by landing these bigger fish with Business Plus.
Okay, so that's the current picture. What about looking ahead? What's their forecast?
Right, the guidance. For Q2 2025, they're expecting revenue between $184 million and $189 million.
Okay, so maybe a slight sequential dip from Q1's $192.7 million, but within range. What about profitability?
Adjusted EBITDA for Q2 is guided between $45 million and $49 million.
Still pretty strong margins implied there. And for the full year.
They reaffirmed their full year 2025 revenue guidance. Still expecting $740 million to $760 million.
Okay, so no change on the top line outlook for the year.
But crucially, they raised their full year adjusted EBITDA guidance. Now they expect $190 million to $200 million.
Ah, they raised the profit forecast for the year. That shows increased confidence, doesn't it?
Definitely. Suggests they really believe this focus on efficiency and higher margin stuff is going to keep delivering stronger profit results as the year goes on.
Makes sense. Did they outline any specific opportunities they're focused on for growth?
Yeah, they did. Continuing to expand AI capabilities, obviously, and the revenue that comes with it.
Right.
Growing that Business Plus offering further, finding additional ways to monetize.
Like the ads and subscriptions we saw growing.
Exactly. And increasing the spending from their existing clients, that trend we saw with GSV per client.
Right. Keep pushing that number up.
And just continued expansion of their profit margins overall. Those seem to be the main levers they plan to pull.
Sounds like a clear strategy focused on profitability and higher value. But of course, there are always risks. What challenges did they highlight?
They were pretty upfront that declining active client base is acknowledged as a key risk.
Can't ignore that number.
No. Also, just general competition in the freelance market, it's crowded. And economic uncertainty, how that might impact client spending.
Always a factor.
Plus execution risks, rolling out new features effectively. And the potential difficulty in really igniting stronger top-line revenue growth. Those seem to be the main concerns.
Okay, so if we were to boil this all down, summarize the key takeaways from this Q1 report.
I think the main story is this really strong strategic push for profitability and efficiency.
Yeah, record profitability achieved through, it seems, pretty disciplined cost management.
And we're seeing that interesting positive shift in spending per active client, which helps offset a bit the fact that the total number of clients is down.
Right. And the AI side is undeniable. Huge growth and adoption of AI services and features on the platform.
Definitely a bright spot. And that raised EBITDA guidance for the full year just underscores their confidence in keeping those profit improvements going through 2025.
So the main takeaway for you listening to Stock Talk is Upwork is laser-focused on profit and efficiency right now.
And getting results there, especially with AI booming on the platform,
Even though overall revenue growth is slow and the total number of active clients has dipped,
which leads to a final thought, maybe, for you to ponder.
yeah, what is this clear focus on profitability, on higher value clients? What does that signal about where the whole freelance economy is heading?
And what about platforms like Upwork? What are the long-term implications if this trend continues, fewer clients but higher spending per client?
It's definitely a dynamic situation, something worth thinking about how it might reshape the future of work.
Absolutely. And if you want to get into even more detail, you'll read the full analysis from Upwork themselves.
Hmm.
We definitely encourage you to check out their official Q1 2025 earnings report. Thanks for tuning in to Stock Talk for this deep dive. If you found it useful, please do like, share, and comment.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts on Upwork's direction.